Okay, guys, so this is the second part of your test. This is on the Great Depression and World War II. So question number 1, what was the New Deal? A group of government programs by President FDR to try and end the Great Depression. B, a group of laws that increased installment buying of expensive items by the middle class. C, a process used by inventors to purchase shares of stocks on the margin. D, the opportunity to buy new Ford Model T at a discounted rate. Number 2, what were the 3 main components of FDR's New Deal? A, recognition of the starving, relief for the unemployed, and rest for the poor. B, representation of a new America, relief from economic depression, rezoning of voting districts. C, reform to prevent another depression, relief for the unemployed and recovery from economic despair. D, repair of the stock market, respect for new bank policies, and recognition of foreign alliances. Number 3, which New Deal provided insurance to protect consumers' money in the bank? A, Federal Deposit Insurance Company, which is the FDIC. B, Emergency Banking Act. C, Fair Labor Standards Act. D, Social Security Act. Number 4, which event led the United States into World War II? A, the D-Day invasion of Normandy. B, Germany's invasion of Poland. C, Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor. D, Nazi Germany's extermination of the Jewish people. Number 5, which statement accurately describes the Holocaust? A, conflict between political parties. B, violation of human rights. C, limited technological development. Or D, geography's influence on culture. For this next one, I am going to read a passage from the Great Depression, and then you're going to answer a question. So it says, I am certain that my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into presidency, I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our nation impels. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive, and will prosper. So, first of all, let me assert that my firm belief that is the only fear, nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. Sorry, I think I read that twice. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive, and will prosper. So, first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert, retread, and to advance. In every dark hour of our national life, a leadership of frankness and vigor has met with that understanding and support of the people themselves, which is essential to victory. I am convinced that you will again give that support to leadership in these critical days. So this continues, it says, our primary task is to put people to work. This is no unsolvable problem if we face it wisely and courageously. It can be accomplished in part by direct recruiting by the government itself, treating the task as we would treat the emergency of a war, but at the same time, through this employment, accomplishing greatly needed projects to stimulate and reorganize the use of our natural resources. So what is the purpose of this speech? A, to cause the public to fear economic collapse. B, to develop trade with foreign countries. C, to encourage citizens to have faith in economic recovery. D, to inspire a new set of democratic principles. Number 7, which of the following were effects of the stock market crash? A, consumer spending increased and banks expanded. B, farms went into foreclosure and factories began to boom. C, manufacturing increased and people began to buy on credit. D, sales of goods and prices fell and banks failed. So for number 8, I'm going to read the passage by President Truman, and this is his decision to drop the atomic bomb. He says, "The final decision of where and when to use the atomic bomb was up to me. Let there be no mistake about it. I regarded the bomb as a military weapon and never had any doubt that it should be used. The top military advisors to the president recommended its use. And when I talked to Churchill, he unhesitatingly told me that he favored the use of the atomic bomb if it might aid to end the war." President Harry Truman. Number 8, why did President Truman decide to drop the atomic bomb? A, to cause Japan to surrender immediately. B, to cause the Japanese economy to crumble. C, to cause the Japanese to suffer for attacking Pearl Harbor. D, to force the Japanese into internment camps. Number 9, what caused the Great Depression? A, more goods were being consumed than produced. B, debt caused by the abundance of consumer credit. C, economic opportunities and stock market gains. D, World War and the fear of big business. So now you're going to look at a political cartoon for number 10. So this says Oliver Twist at the top. He's saying, "More, please." It says reorganization program, but inside of the bowl, it says power. The note says the executive branch of the government. The cook right here, his shirt says Congress. And he is the one serving the person. So, what would be the best summary of the cartoon arguments? The cartoon artist's argument regarding President Roosevelt's New Deal and the reorganization program. So this artist is arguing something, and we are talking about the New Deal and reorganization. Says A, the president is not expanding the power of the executive branch enough by asking Congress to pass only the reorganization program law. B, the president wants to expand the power of the legislative branch of the government by asking Congress to pass his New Deal laws. C, the president is expanding the power of the executive branch too much by asking the Congress to pass his New Deal laws, including reorganization programs. Or D, the president is expanding the power of the executive branch too much by asking for Congress to feed the public during the Great Depression. Remember to pay attention to the political cartoon and the words as well. And number 11, guys. In the 1920s, North Carolina was still very much a rural state. Half of its total population lived on working farms. Agriculture was its largest industry, but farmers' income had declined steadily during the decade because of overproduction of cash crops, falling crop prices, rising farm costs, poor conservation practices, and other problems. When the stock market crashed on Black Tuesday, October 29, 1929, the hopes and dreams of many farm families crashed along with it. This is by Roanne Bishop. from the Tar Heel Junior historian. This is from a museum. So, what can you infer from this passage? A, farm families had savings to fall back on when they didn't make enough money in selling their crops. B, farm families had struggled to improve their financial situations without making much, if any, profit during the 1920s. C, poor crop sales during the 1920s finally improved on October 29, 1929. D, poor crop sales during the 1920s didn't stop farmers from making money during the 1930s. Which answer best fits? And that is the end of the Great Depression and World War II test. I am sure you did well. Do not forget to submit both tests. Have a wonderful day.